Railroad workers are exposed to a lot of different hazardous substances, and they have been for years and years. Two of the more prevalent cancer-causing substances that railroad workers are exposed to are asbestos and diesel exhaust. Asbestos used to line all of the steam locomotives. Even when the railroads transitioned to diesel locomotives in the 1950s, there was still a lot of asbestos on these older locomotives. Over the years, railroad workers have been exposed to both asbestos and diesel exhaust, and the railroads have long known that these two substances can cause cancer. The railroad medical departments and claims agents would get together at annual meetings and discuss certain hazards that railroad workers were exposed to. And at these meetings, sponsored by the Railroad Trade Association, they would talk about these hazards. As early as the 1930s, railroads were talking about the hazards of asbestos and that they could cause very serious lung disease. As early as the 1950s, railroads were talking about the fact that asbestos could cause cancer. They were also talking about the hazards of diesel exhaust and that some of the constituents of diesel exhaust contained cancer-causing substances. Despite all this knowledge, the railroads never did anything to train or warn or educate railroad workers about the hazards of these substances. With very little exception, they never provided them with any respiratory protection. It wasn't until more recently they actually started testing the work environment. And it's for these reasons that the railroad failed to provide a safe place to work.